Shalom Aleichem. My name is Rabbi Ariel Goldberg. It's good to be together today to talk about what makes a great Jewish educator. Moshe Rabbeinu, the greatest Jewish educator of all time, taught us, the Jewish people, in the book of Dvarim, Lo rechoka hi, the thing that you are seeking is not far away. You can take possession of it for yourself. What he said about Jewish learning 3,000 years ago holds true today. Any Jewish learner can find meaning in Judaism right now. It doesn't matter what baggage they bring to the experience, or what beliefs they hold, or whether they know Hebrew. What matters is that they engage with Jewish ideas with an open head and with an open heart, and with the support of a good Jewish community educator who respects their perspectives, who relates to them as a whole person with a mind and a heart, and supports them in following the bent of their curiosity. I believe that great Jewish community educators have three salient traits. First, they're passionate about engaging with Jewish learners about Jewish ideas. Second, they're able to engage with the whole person, with the person's emotions as well as their intellect. And third, a good Jewish community educator is herself someone who is dedicated to lifelong Jewish learning. We are Am Yisrael, literally the people who wrestle with God, and for that matter, wrestle with many other big ideas and burning questions, like where was God in the Holocaust, or who wrote the Bible? So it's essential, I think, that an educator support their students in wrestling. So if a class is studying Maimonides' 13 Attributes of the Faith, and a student raises a criticism about why Jews should have to believe in the infallibility of the Torah or in the resurrection of the dead, the educator will ask questions that support the student in articulating the concerns that they have about the issue, and then introduce them to sources from Maimonides' contemporaries, which ask the same kinds of criticisms about Maimonides' creedal formulation. And then once these discoveries have been made, ask questions that will facilitate the learner understanding why these ideas matter to them, how they can affect their perspective on Judaism and on the world. A great Jewish community educator is someone who is able to engage with learners in the emotional dimension. A traditional prayer refers to Torah as Chayenu ve'orech yameinu, our life and the breadth of our days. In other words, Jewish learning is meant to include everything: our intellectual awareness, our emotional lives, our relationships, our deepest concerns. And ideally, Jewish learning should lead to a person becoming someone who is closer to their best self, who lives their lives in keeping with the person's highest values. So if a class is exploring the idea of tzedakah and how it's an obligation incumbent on society to promote the leveling of inequalities and ensure that people have their basic needs met, and a student finds this deeply inspiring, finds that it provides them with a new perspective different from the Protestant idea of charity, which is seen as being an altruistic act rather than an obligation. A good Jewish educator will engage the student in dialogue about how this idea of tzedakah relates to their deepest held values, what emotions they bring in relating to it, and what small steps they could take to integrate this value into living their life. Finally, great Jewish community educators are themselves lifelong students of Jewish learning. There's no substitute for an educator being someone who spends a substantial amount of time learning in a yeshiva or in an advanced Jewish studies program, And then, when they begin their professional life, engages in study on a daily basis. Only in this way will the educator be able to substantiate what they're saying with Jewish texts and help students find foundations for the ideas that interest them in Jewish texts. But even more importantly, being a lifelong learner allows the educators to relate to their students not as an authority who is standing over them and has all the answers, but as a fellow learner who is in the boat with them, growing and striving and questioning. And there is no better way to inspire people to get into Jewish learning. When a course of Jewish learning is over, a Jewish community educator who embodies the traits that we've talked about will leave their students excited about coming back again and again to Jewish ideas, to grow, to find new meaning for their life, to be challenged, to wrestle, and eventually to share their excitement about Jewish learning with another learner who is yet to begin the adventure. And in this way, American Jewry and the Jewish people as a whole will be strengthened. Thanks very much. Be well.